bags from Prada, rolling up. I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Only got. It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we back up. Running these racks up. 100 meals a week after. Dying from laughter. When they come to handles, never had one. With a bad one. Made a meal today and they my last one.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it and did it again. I put it in 10, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Giants. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the second year back out of NC State, Naheem Hines. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, y'all. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
3rd and 2, Watson. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down. Now a first down throw, Watson. This one caught by Ridley. And now look at this, big gain, but a fumble.
Let's go, let's go.
The offense retains possession.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. To the air yet again, Watson, flush to his right. Now he'll pull it down. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. On first down, Watson. It's caught. Beckham. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. To throw again on second down. Wants it, and he will find Ridley. That's complete. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Calvin Ridley with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Dolphins take it right down and score on the opening drive. Justin Tucker for the extra point. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Justin Tucker for the extra point. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins.
Makes the score Dolphins 7, Giants nothing. Justin Tucker set to kick off.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
The Giants take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Set. 60 or.
Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3. Check. Out.
Fine.
They'll run on first down. Evans. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Go. You'll get it.
2nd and 11. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter, because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch.
Look. Squeeze. Hard.
Back to throw now on first down. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And he stopped immediately there. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Looking left sideline, it's complete. It's a giant first down on a gain of 16. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Ready.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 36.
Watch twist.
Now the first carry for Ty Montgomery. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Ready.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. He's got this to his running back, Ty Montgomery. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. They'll set up the throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it.
Watch the twist.
On play action, they'll throw. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Ready, ready! 90 Wolf! 22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber. Let's get in there, let's get in there now. Tight yard, tight yard, tight yard. Jay, lock it. Jumping. Wide, get wide. On the go.
On first down, it's Evans. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Steven Sims with his first career NFL touchdown as they are now on the board here in the first half. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give them 19. They'll run on first down. Hines. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On 2nd down now. It's Hines. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. And some room to run now. Odell Beckham Jr. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Odell Beckham, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Justin Tucker set to kick off.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. There he goes right side. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. A big play there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. As they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. He was trying to go back to Beckham there. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on 2nd and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. He's up over 50 yards receiving now in this first half. It's a first down. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Watson in the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's now 10 of 10 throwing the ball here to start the game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On first down, Hines. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Now a give right side. It's Patrick. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive. And here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. They'll come out in the pistol. Another shot from the one on 2nd and goal.
Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half as his guys are able to regain the lead.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. Down the numbers. There he goes. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. Tucker with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Go on. Hey, Delta. On the ball. Deep grip.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Under pressure, they got him again. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Looking to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll throw now on the final play. He'll rifle this one deep right side. He rifles one that's intercepted. Monte Nicholson picks it, and they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, that'll be taken in the end zone. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And they're able to to get this one across the 35. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw here. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Here we go.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Kill. Hey, turn it out. 80 weapons. Hurry. Check 37. Check. Look. Squeeze. Let go.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. 10 yards, good for a Giant first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11 and a Giant first down. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory right at the 40. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Evans. And now the rookie's free. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are back within a single score. The extra point up and good. And they're within 7 now at 28-21. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
At the 37-yard line.
Reset. 19. Check 53. Stay with your man. Alert 3.
On 2nd down, it's Patrick. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down. Well, CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Watch the screen.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. A good gain there on 3rd and 8 of 7 yards, and now a decision here on 4th and 1.
Under 10. 10.
On 4th down, Watson. That's to his running back, complete. He cannot wiggle free. They stop him at the line on 4th down. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And the Giants are going to get the football back. Good starting field position for the New York Giants here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44.
Check hot route. Hot. Check 26. Check 26. Look at me. Door. Hey, Sam on. Get it.
Now a give, right side. Evans. Tremaine Edmonds there to bring him down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Go.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down.
Ready? 70's, Indy, 61, Matchbox, lights. Watch twist. You go tight. You got tight. You got 6'6", pull it high. Now.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Flushed out right, and that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this third quarter of play. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4.
Tighten up. Two draw corkers.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Giants on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
22 jet bombers, 22 jet, let's go.
He'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. 23 yards for the touchdown as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And we have seen a lot on the scoreboard here in this quarter. So sometimes you talk to me about tendency breakers on offense. These defenses struggling. Are there tendency breakers on defense?
All defensive coordinators keep something in their hip pocket for these types of situations. What can we do to slow down the onslaught? And the biggest thing is make sure these guys encourage each other, pick themselves up, because right now it's been a really tough ball game trying to stop these offenses.
Oh, it really has, especially as of late. On 2nd down now, it's Hines. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. That one good for 24.
these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
Early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll run on first down. Hines. And he only manages a...
up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Check, check. 25, check 25, check 25. Hey, we got to snap it. We got to snap it.
And some space here. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Give him 32 on the play.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss, but with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on first and goal. Here's Brown. And he's going to be met at the... scrimmage to make that stop.
How about his ability to trust his eyes and figure out it was not a pass play and go fast towards the line of scrimmage in order to make that tackle?
Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got it second and goal as they look to grab a late lead. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Odell Beckham, his third touchdown of the game, number 19 on the year, as his guys have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. They do tack on the extra point as well, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
It's second and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Oh, Tupper! Check, score! Hey, check 24, check 24. Deuce, 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 deuce. Shit. Check.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Evans. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Switch. Check. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Look at me. Zipper. Down. Jack the fight.
On 3rd down, it's Evans. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
Look, squeeze.
On second down, it's Evans. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the fourth. Back to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete.
Let's go.
They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
Check. Look now.
They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. They took their shot for the end zone, almost cost him.
And he made the right play there, knocking it away. But, boy, it looked like he had a chance to come down with the football. And if he does that, this thing is over. Instead, he leaves them out there with another chance.
Hey, wahoo! Hey, lock it!
Watch the shit. Hey,
go!
Watch the shit.
He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well have run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
80 weapon. Ready?
He'll look to throw. He's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up fourth.
Fourth down.
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on fourth down.
Watch the run. Let's go.
They'll set up to throw. Open man is Sims. He's got it. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And his ball is caught. It's a touchdown. And now in the final seconds, they're a PAT away from likely getting this thing to overtime. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Kill. Hey, turn it out. Check. Lock it. Go.
They'll try and run it in. And he will not get into the end zone. The defense makes the stop of the game on the 2-point try, and they might just get out of here with a win after all. Were the Giants able to recover? Yes. A field goal will do it for them. They got the onside kick that they needed here. We'll see if they can do the rest.
Some teams are just not comfortable waiting to see what happens. Some teams like to force the action. That's exactly what we saw with this onside kick.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Check.
Protein spill. Hey, Haywood.
My team right here, guys. My team. Let's go.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. The throw taken in by Sims. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
At the 37-yard line.
So this is certainly a tough test here in the early career of the rookie kicker. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. So this is certainly a tough test here in the early career of the rookie kicker. This a long one from 54. And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good. Well, that would have been something if he could have saved him from that long distance there in the closing seconds, but it was just not meant to be.
They need a little more time and a little more yardage to give him for this game, isn't it? They're going to wind up a little short in the end.
So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So for the Dolphins, the final 2 weeks are going to tell the story for them as they move to 9-5 with the win. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they'll drop to 9-5 on the year. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington. And for Charles Davis and our entire...
Playing skills, you did. Holding the rest, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, holding the rest, I never switch, ice in the wrist, car on the wrist, holding the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, holding the wrist, I never switch, ice in the wrist, I get the money but I never switch, they saying you switch you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause I on the wrist. Why bet you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, Just for the that hate us, I make a lot of new money, When the not save us, Be liking my flavor, I think it's cause ice on the wrist, on the wrist, watch out, I never switch, I never switch, I never switch, I never switch.
Since I blew, they all on my hey, back then, didn't know I exist. Don't touch my cup, you know how I sip. Hey, got your long, that I made her when I showed out my whip. Hey, spent about 10 on my fit. Ex-slick, then he with the back then, used to out the zip. Blow out his back, then dip. Got a whole party all on the ship. All these 4 things, pull out the VIP. Suck, turn up, baby, pour out the milk. So you know how I drip.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock.
We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side.
The Saints are now on the clock.
We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. This ain't nothing for the back. Got 16 sitting in the lap. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons in the ice cream whip, triple school.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna play me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bread until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide.
The Bears are now on the clock.
Not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it and did it again.
The Browns are now on the clock.
I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it.
The Giants are now on the clock.
I just got bags from Prada. Rolling up. I'm in the brand
The Patriots are now on the
It'll be
clock.
here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Only got. It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we back up. Running these racks up. 100 meals a week after. Down from laughter. When they come to handles, never had one. With a bad one. Made a meal today and they my last
The
one.
Cowboys are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock.
I'm moving too fast, I can't stop. Wiping it down with the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top when the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throw it blind in my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even. Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no off. You better call back up.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it and did it again. But it's in, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it. Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
The Texans are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock.
It's lonely on top of the throne. I ain't a king of the pawn. Hop on a jet across the globe. I guess the world is my home and there's so many milkers burning my dome and like turbulent air. I'm switching these flows. If you look at my neck, boy, I'm letting it snow. I'm sturdy as hell as a vessel alone. They showing me
the Raiders are now on the clock.
Women like think you know what I'm about. I'm not. The stereotypes, they do not fit me. I'm bigger than life. Gave everyone dogs. I'm not a guard. Go hard for the squad. I'm playing my part, but I'm LeBron. Wings of the team, I feel Jackson and hard. The homie calling from a cell. A couple of homies be making it. I just want all of them dudes to the well. Not worry about taking a couple of L's. Don't sin for me, just win for me. Don't kill for me, just live for me. Keep it real for me. We eat together, leave the bill for me like. Hand on my heart. I give it all I got. Walk the walk inside the
The Eagles are now on the clock.
Take it higher, that's a God.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Give it all I got. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Take it higher, that's a God. Never stop.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
GPS another loss. GPS another loss. Who do it better than me? Yeah. Vision on 2020. Yeah. VVS company. Yeah. Determination, laser focus. Banging on they door, they taking notice. Taking notice. Taking notice. Determination, laser focus. Banging on they
The Steelers are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock.
I ain't really saying much. Actions be louder than words, man. I just wanna be heard for your mom to your pop to the beat to the birds, man. Cut right off on the curb like I'm Barry Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though.
The Redskins are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock.
Frustration, I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Masterpiece, my masterpiece. That mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Honey, I dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky.
The Texans are now on the clock.
No man, man. Oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash. Honey, y'all dash, 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 yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. They on attack when they tackle like damages. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Eat the competition up.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man. Oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not
The Browns are now on the clock.
Dash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all dash.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best because I am.
The Bears are now on the clock.
D like a turkey, I run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the jets, the coast regret even letting them stay in the game. See my route took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on, smash. Put on the gas. I will not.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Honey yard, dash. Honey yard, dash. Honey yard, dash. Honey yard, dash.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock.
S-T-R-O. How many of y'all came to win? Oh, they asking my name.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
S-T-R-O. I ain't come to play with you. Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up. I can't spend the day with you. I'm out in my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright. I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
Lifting up, never not on my grind. New York City time. Another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winter side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Hey, yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way when my crew coming through. What I do?
The Saints are now on the clock.
What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
What I do, lace up my shoes, chase W's, great colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable, they sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few, can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze, freeze. Stop you in your tracks, there's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget
the Bears are now on the clock.
Shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go
the Panthers are now on the clock.
Polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop. It's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired. Can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way when my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase
The Giants are now on the clock.
In the street, case on the news.
The Patriots are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Are you ready?
The Titans are now on the clock.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Down in Mississippi and New Orleans, Big Snoop Dogg got a Madden league. His team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do, come and get some. See, tell your mama and tell your daddy and tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Tell your mama.
The Packers are now on the clock.
Tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Come get some.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock.
And I'm the only one. And when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons. Haha, bag up off me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. Come on. I can't be touched and I can't be scared.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
When I'm in a mud league, 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. I get it.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
I got cleats on my feet, jersey on my back.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Like that. down in Mississippi and New Orleans. Big Snoop Dogg got a Madden league. Your team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do, come and get some.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
And tell your daddy, tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Tell your mama, and tell your daddy, tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Come get some.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
But you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg, and I'm the only one. And when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons. Bag a bulk me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
Run or I can hit you with the pass. I can't be touched and I
The
can't
Bills are now on the clock.
when I'm in a mud league, 2-0, 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so
The Jets
hard.
are now on the clock.
Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is, now get it. Big Snoop Dogg, it's in the game.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get about the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. I score up in the end zone, do my dance all on a hater. A mover and a shaker, you a novice, I'm a player. I'm from DC, but I'm running through and sacking like a raider. 2 chains on my neck, one from now and one
The
from
Jaguars are now on the clock.
Baby, we play for keeps. You can pass me up, this is not a bye week. I'm looking for a trophy competition, looking steep. And I'm training, I've been focused, I've been bombing from the deep. I'm like, move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get about the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. Move the needle for the city like the championship.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Champion hit. I've been working for this moment like I've been in the gym. Jumping all over hurdles, I'm evading the pit. Hit to hit with anybody, take them, I can shake them. I invite them to the fire, then I bake them, I'ma break them. I'm a Hall of Fame legend, they should go and hang my jersey. Made to put in work, I don't think they really heard me like. Move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get about the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. Ain't no stopping me, ain't no topping me, I am up.
The Colts are now on the clock.
Got a squad of gorillas from the jungle suited up.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock.
I read the game, I think it's time to switch. You get hit if I miss, then my teammates got the blitz. Yeah, move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get about the way.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains.
Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, go tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more boards than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock.
I don't wear ball, mains. All I ever do is ball, main.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
I am not dope, I'm hard. Wait, I can power up and level up at any moment. Spitting like a semi, only give me semicolon. Couple zeros like I'm sending yell nets. Every flow is unmatched, and I better get set in. Finish them. Mess around with me and I diminish them all. Even if I ever did the minimum all. In the end result, I better kill them all. Rogue One, but I got a team with me. Batman when I got a team with me. I get mean, I get green. Show the whole game what's never been seen. Cook it up, gourmet.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, go tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank.
Designer sneakers hurt my feet now. Every beat is getting beat down. Couldn't eat, well watch I eat now. Like how you getting paid to freestyle? Different cities every week now.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
With state prop, you looking bleak now. I was homeless sleep.
The Jets are now on the clock.
30 different missions. When I speak, they listen. Couldn't find the social fishing. Who the crew? It wasn't you. I know it's true, cause you look like the opposition. Run it up. Greatest ever sums it up. I ain't have a lot when I was coming up. Kinda made my stomach turn when I brung it up. Wait.
Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, go tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, go tank.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Got more bars than a Shawshank.
Yeah. When I've been up this When up and up is magic.
The Vikings are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock.
Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do?
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Look in the mirror now, I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my
The Eagles are now on the clock.
You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laughing. Now I hit the scene, they like lights, camera, action. Living in a dream, now my music, they be blasting. Step out, I'm a star, always in the latest fashion.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Try to catch me lacking. Bank account for my son, he won't have to struggle. You can see it in my eyes, all I do is hustle. They tried to knock me off my feet, I'm ready to rumble. Feel like I ain't ate in weeks, working
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Oh my, we ride for my brothers, no lie. All you can die. Never wrong, they right. I ain't changing my side. Yeah, we in it.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have? Look in the mirror now, I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I people claim that they be loyal, they be taking up space.
The Texans are now on the clock.
He was fighting that case. Took so many yells, I'm not going back to those days. I'ma treat you how you treat me. Do you like how it tastes? Shawty, use up. Can't treat you like my ace. I got way too many problems to be worried. I'm straight. Me and Craig had to watch for the Jakes. On the road, this crazy. I get 80 a show. Save my money, stack it up. It look like I'm foreign cars driving fast. I never done this before. Yeah, drown out my problems. Let me. When up and up is magic. With the gang, we ball out. It can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have? Look in the mirror.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laughing.
The Packers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock.
Swear I'm going big like a lineman. She want bring the limes in. She wanna pull up to the crib, we can't dine in. Up right away, couldn't even get a vine in. Straight with the money, we aligned in. Tell me how they broke, tryna chime in. Jesus watching over here in diamonds. He the only reason why I do not get violent. Ay, cause he gave me patience. Ay, swear that all makes sense.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Cause I know they tryna shit like Ray-Bans. Got a bad little shorty wasting. And I own it, I ain't gotta pay rent. Ay, I know we the ones that ain't them. Move our hands together and I'm saying amen. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know.
The Bears are now on the clock.
Going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Going big, going bigger. Postmates, how I deliver. My game too cold, made it shiver, but I'm still a hot boy. Cool it down, let it simmer. Hey, see him mad, got him bitter.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Only what I give her and and she let her call me.
The Rams are now on the clock.
See me dip, yeah, I'm saucing. People at the bank see me often. Let the money run, it's a faucet. She gave me the that's a bosses. Took over the
The Chargers are now on the clock.
down in the chips, they went all in. Throwing up the gang, ain't no vomit. Make my mama stop working, that's the promise. Going big, going
The Chargers are now on the clock.
everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know
The
they sick,
Rams
acting
are now
like
on
they
the
know me.
clock.
Cause I'm
P-P-P-Love, time to bring the bass bird.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready?
Get ready, no.
The Panthers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock.
This be the green light, go. Tires burn the pavement. People want to know where Mace, Poss, and Dave went. Still here, still in your ear with a style so hot, you'll see where all the sun rays went. Legs, arms, and head, all being moved in a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set, jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter rock, turn it up. We giving the show. But can you
The Giants are now on the clock.
about space out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? Close encounter of what kind?
The Patriots are now on the clock.
When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, the pass to your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
And you know we can't wait to bring
The Titans are now on the clock.
plus the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years so you can say
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
unlike you and your chess men. We install doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the ground. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. We're leaving the kings of all crowns. Are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter, right? Turn it up, y'all beat the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about?
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Rock it like rockets, fool.
The Texans are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all beat the flow.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock.
Are you ready? Set.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Steady. To the letter, right? Turn it up.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Rock it like rocket. What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rocket?
The Steelers are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
Can you rock it like rocket fuel?
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Why you do that like that? It's a lot of money.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
Like that. Ooh, I'm in my new bag, my bag. You ain't getting too bad. bad, my bad. Yeah. First of the month, I'ma run it back. Ay. Same day, why I'ma run it back.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Run it back. 48 yards, I run it back. Ay. I cop a car, I run it back. Go your then run it back. Run it back. Hello? That's the Jag calling. Let me click over real quick to let my Jag talk it. I eat it, ooh, Pac-Man. That's the way my neck talking. Right? I ain't never coming back the way the stress. You don't make no clap back when you backpack, my bad. But I'm past that with a NASDAQ. That's cash. When the money fall, I'ma slap that. Clap when the money
Colts are now on the clock.
The money low, I'ma grab man. When it come back, I'ma give back my
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
I'm glad when the check missed the direct hit. I'm sad like, who's that knocking at my window? They say that it's the money, I'm like tenfold. Over and out. That's gon' make you up like a limbo. She said she not a, she an. Why you do that like that? It's a lot of money.
The Lions are now on the clock.
I'm in my new bag, my bad. You ain't get too bad, my bad. Yeah. First of the month, I'ma run it back. Ay. Same day, why I'ma run it back. Friday, payday, run it back. Ay. Run it back.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Ay. I cop a car, I run it back. Go your then run it back. Run it back.
What you want, what you need, tell me what you wanna give, how much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver, I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock.
It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
I'm always beating the odds. Taking all these trips, I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live, I don't know what they mad for.
The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock.
It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. Yeah. I just had to let you know. Yeah. Give me that work and I can sell it.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
I ain't selfish, nah. The story flip if I let you tell it. Put my heart and soul in so you feel it. I ain't never faking, I'm the realest since Tupac in the prison, man, claiming his innocence. Currently, I'm the greatest rapper in a sense. But any currency, I'm still
The Rams are now on the clock.
This is coming from within, I stuff for real, I don't pretend. When the OG spilling knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a prophet to them scholars, got them chakras opening. Got them fixing up they octaves, now they truly focused in. I'm seeing 2020 visions.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on the mission.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top, it's missing. The opposition in. All that lane switching, this is what the game is.
The Bears are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock.
You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know.
The Giants are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock.
I do this for the family, I might just blow my wheel. I'm giving it so
The 49ers are now on the clock.
I'm giving they soldier chills. My jewelry code is shield. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah. Ripper stuff the edge like I don't know no bill. See the pain deep in my eyes, they know it's real. Yeah, been this way, right before the deal. Say this one for your photo real. Blessing after testing, I'ma show them skills. You ain't gotta tell me, I know I'm ill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show them skills. Yeah, how about it? How about it? You want it, you have it.
The Texans are now on the clock.
Go ahead, jump it, how about it? How about it? Rep for your bro, where your post, department, your projects.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Look how far we coming. Heartbeat on the streets, you can do it. Ain't real for the weekend. Sweet, this sugar, one man army.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
What you doing? I ain't damaged goods, them out the clay. You wish you could.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
I might just blow my wheel. I'm giving it so for real. Who feeling that glowing hill? I'm giving they soldier chills. My jewelry code is shield. Stories treacherous.
The Eagles are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock.
So when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got
The Lions are now on the clock.
Somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Step back, let me get some room. Congrats every time I'm through. Same packet, nobody knew, so I never get confused. Hotel get a bird's eye view. Hotel got a waiting room. Read a magazine while you wait for me, baby. I'll be done so soon. Phone gotta be off. Each store got locks. I got some trusted shoes. 10K on the countertop. Don't look so shocked. It's nothing new. Death comes in threes. Wins come in twos. Cash comes in
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock.
I got a bad one. They want to keep me. Oh, that's a good one. Pockets are dense. I think my bread is hard as a crouton. Receipts in my pocket don't come with a coupon. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
They love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pounds. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Touchdown, 8th floor, come down, hotel, lobby. Receptionist, what now? 11 a.m., check out. Might give her one foul, just to tell her it's one now. How come? I need rest, no recess on my schedule.
The Falcons are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
Money goes straight to taxes, but I don't trip about it. That's what happens when you got dreams closer than a match. Plus all your boys got expensive habits. I know what they're thinking, they don't even gotta say it. No, they thinking they just made it.
The Bills are now on the clock.
I don't gotta work no day shift. I don't gotta split no payment. I don't gotta answer questions. And I don't need you to okay it. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game.
The Vikings are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock.
Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pounds. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now.
The Broncos are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Gotta go hard, I can never play soft. Giant in New York, I run it back like Saquon. And I gotta win no matter what. Like 4th down, Hail Mary, no punch. Like every time I touch down, I gotta stunt.
Randy Moss, yeah, my number's going up. All these trophies, what do I need any more for? Check the stats up, you can check the scoreboard. Check the stats, Jay Critch, I'm the QB. Ran it up and then I went and got a new freeze. How fit to be the boss, let me find out. My team ballin', you look like you need a timeout. I'm a star, in the clutch, I'ma shine out. Working hard, yeah, I'm back.
The Texans are now on the clock.
Took a loss, but I stay strong. Super Bowl rings, I just wanna play off. Gotta go hard, I can never play soft.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
How fit to be the boss, let me find out. My team ballin', you look like you need a timeout. I'm a star, in the clutch, I'ma shine out. Working hard, yeah, I'm back on my grind now. Game on, took a loss, but I stay strong. Super Bowl rings, I just wanna play off. Gotta go hard, I can never play soft. Giant in New York, I run it back like Saquon. If you ain't a winner, then don't come round. On my way to another city, it's a touchdown. Underlay, yeah, I gotta get it in a rush now. Let them hate, try to knock me down, but we got up now. You say that you ballin', keep it real though. Hey, why I never saw you in the field though?
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
I've been grinding for a minute and I'm still going. How fit to be the boss, let me find out.
The Packers are now on the clock.
I'm a star in the clutch.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Yeah, I'm back on my grind now. Game on, took a loss, but I stay strong. Super Bowl rings, I just wanna play off. Gotta go hard, I can never play soft. Giant in New York, I run it back like Saquon.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
My team ballin', you look like you need a timeout. I'm a star in the clutch, I'ma shine out. Working hard, yeah, I'm back on my grind now. Game on, took a loss, but I stay strong. Super Bowl rings, I just wanna play off. Gotta go hard, I can never play soft. Giant in New York, I run it back like
The Giants are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock.
Big numbers, 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is Jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell
The Bengals are now on the clock.
If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more Desto.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
That's a big number. Big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist man, check the wrist man, got him
The Rams are now on the clock.
Ball like this, man, Lord. Past the big scam, when he stretch a distance. I'm talking a few 100,000 yards, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, count it up. Hey, hundreds and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she want it like me, cause her like she can't count on him. She try to be nosy and hit up my ex, she like, girl, you can count on him.
Hey, we need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, like them keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Big numbers. 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
That's a big number. Big numbers. Blue hunts. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
The Bears are now on the clock.
Yeah, I just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself. I'm so icy, got that GG on my belt. Thank the Lord for my people and my health. Lost a lot, but I came out with no else. Thank the Lord for my people and my health.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
My nails. My man tripping cause I got another cell. He still buy me YSL. I could get it by myself. could get it by myself.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I'ma get it by myself.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Aces up my sleeve though. Right before I leave, I step like I'm Dino. Think I'm part Italian. Blame it on Gino. Smells like the medallion. The skin on cappuccino.
The Patriots are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
And I wish these well when they wish for me to fail. I might donate petty bills. They can't get it by themselves.
That's why you treat my men good, but not too good. I give them too much, then they don't need me. I give them just
I just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock.
People in my health. Lost a lot, but I came out with no L's. Thank the Lord for my people in my health.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Down to my nails. My man tripping cause I got another sale. He still buy me YSL. I could get it by myself. These I could get it
The
by
Texans
myself.
are now on the clock.
I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I'ma get it by myself. I'ma get it either way. I don't even gotta say what I want when I want. They just put it on my plate. I could get it right away. Take you through my day to day. Wake and pray, make that play. Get some good.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
On the way, cause my bros on the way. I got stones on my gold. I got loads in my safe. Had a 7-figure summer, so I'm putting on some weight. Set up getting thick, so I put it on display.
With his rhymes, I make a joke, everybody laughs. I know I'm funny, but I'm not that funny.
Yeah, I just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself. I'm so icy, got that GG on my belt.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Lost a lot, but I came out with no L's.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Fine as hell from my head down to my nails. My man tripping cause I got another sale. He still buy me YSL. I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
These I could get it by myself. I'ma get it by myself, yeah.
The Broncos are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock.
I get the money, but I never switch. They say you switch it, you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hate cause I took no risk. My bitch, you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, This for the that hate us, I make a lot of new money,
The Redskins are now on the clock.
I think it's cause
The Colts are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock.
Don't touch my cup, you know how I sip. Hey, got your long I made her when I showed out my whip. Hey, spent about 10 on my 50. Ex-slick then hit with the back then used to out the zip. Blood back then dip. Got a whole party out on the ship. All these 4 things.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
So you know how I drip.
The Colts are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the
Steelers are now on the clock.
all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
With triple school, I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Don't wanna play me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bread until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
I can never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs, they by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. We ain't gon' run, no, we gon' hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
My side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
I just got bags from Prada, rolling up. I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Only got real ones round them. Only got. It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we pack up.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
100 meals a week after. Dying from laughter. When it come to handles, never had one. With a bad one. Made a meal today and they my last
The
one.
Giants are now on the clock.
I had to get back up. I can't take no. You better call back up.
The Browns are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock.
I'm moving too fast, I can't stop. Wiping it down with the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top on the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed and blinded my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it
The
dead.
Bears are now on the
I feel
clock.
like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Know you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even. Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no off.
The Bengals are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock.
It's lonely on top of the throne. I ain't a king of the pawn. Hop on a jet across the globe. I guess the road is my home and there's so many milkers burning my dome like turbulent air. I'm switching these flows. If you look at my neck, boy, I'm letting it snow. I'm sturdy as hell, Sylvester Stallone. They showing me love in my city. Gangs ain't hippies. Women like think you know what I'm about. I'm not. The stereotypes, they do not fit me. I'm bigger than life. Gave everyone jobs. I'm not a guard. Go hop with a squad. I'm playing my part, but them LeBron. Rings to the team. I feel Jackson and hard. The homie calling from a cell. A couple of homies.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Not worry about taking a couple of L's. Don't sin for me, just win for me. Don't kill for me, just live for me. Keep it real for me. We eat together.
The Bears are now on the clock.
Hand on my heart. I give it all I got.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Walk the walk inside the talk. Take it higher, that's a God. Hand on my heart. No, I give it all I got. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Take it higher, that's a God. Never stopping, that's a must. Always winning, never lost. GPS, never lost.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Who do it better than me? Yeah. Vision on 2020. Yeah. VVS, company. Yeah.
The Giants are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Taking notice, taking notice, taking notice. Determination, laser focus. Banging on they though they taking notice.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock.
saying much. Actions be louder than words, man. I just wanna be heard.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Right off on the curb, like I'm Barry Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my whole team.
The Colts are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock.
What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
Whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like what? Whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Honey, I dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Dance, jump in the stands, no man, man. Oh, there with the hands, thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans, I do what I want, they do what they can.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Gas, I will not crash, honey, yard, dash, 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 yeah. They can't catch up because they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Heat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual.
The Packers are now on the clock.
That decision unanimous. Big dogs, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerge victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate.
The Titans are now on the clock.
Jump in the stands, no man, man. Oh, there with the hands, thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans, I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, honey yard, dash, honey yard, dash, honey yard, dash.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Honey yard, dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best because I am. It's no need in keeping
The Browns are now on the clock.
Like a turkey, I run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret even letting them stay in the game.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Next time, be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through
The Bears are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock.
Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on, smash. Put on the gas. I will not crash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock.
S-T-R-O. How many of y'all came to win? Oh, they asking my name, huh? You ready?
The Chargers are now on the clock.
I ain't come to play with you. Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up. I can't spend the day with you. I'm out of my business.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop. Look at shorty, she support, bruh. Lifting up, never not on my grind. New York City.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winter side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field. Hey, yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard.
The Saints are now on the clock.
See that? On my head is real good. We don't need your feedback. They clear the way when my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's, beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
What I do? Lace up my shoes, chase
The Bears are now on the clock.
Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable. They sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I didn't grab the few. Can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze. Freeze. Stop you in your tracks. There's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit. Your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be?
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go together like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop. It's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired. Can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
The Browns are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's, beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Ladies and gentlemen,
down in Mississippi and New Orleans, Big Snoop Dogg got a Madden lead. His team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do, come and get some. See, tell your mama and tell your daddy and tell the whole damn world it's Madden territory. Tell your mama.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Tell the whole damn world it's
The Raiders are now on the clock.
If you want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg, and I'm the only one. And when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run, or I can hit you with the pass. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll you when I'm in a mud.
The Ravens.
Touches cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. I get it.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
I got cleats on my feet, jersey on my back.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
but if you do,
The Falcons are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock.
If you want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg, and I'm the only one. And when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons. Bag up off me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run, or I can hit you with the pass.
The Colts are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock.